Vlog every day in April, day 13. High five, Kotel. And today's prompt is share a favorite memory of yours from traveling in a foreign country. This one goes pretty deep for me. It's one of the most personally moving and spiritual experiences of my life. Happened a few years ago when I was studying in Jerusalem as a part of my rabbinic education. Judaism is something that I converted to as an adult. I was about 24, 25 years old when it happened. It's been a while, but I've talked to other people who've converted to Judaism or to other religions, or changed jobs, or taken on a big responsibility, and they experience what they describe as sort of imposter syndrome. I've taken on a new identity that's very personal and very moving for me, but it's so different. Sometimes it prompts me to ask the question, okay, is this really me? Do I really belong, or am I just faking it somehow? And while my Jewish community has always embraced me with open arms, there was still this little thing in the back of my head that says, you know, is this really you, or are you just kind of going through the motions? Are you really accepted? Do you really accept it yourself? Fast forward several years, I was about to spend 4 months studying in Jerusalem. It was my first time actually ever being there, and when I get there, get over the jet lag, as soon as I can, go to the old city and go to the Kotel, to go to what's called by some the Wailing Wall, as a particularly spiritual place for Jews. Not because there's anything magical about the bricks or the plaza or anything like that. It's just that this is the site where our holy temples stood, 2 of them, and this is what we have left. And when people go there and pray, they tend to have perhaps more moving experiences than praying someplace else. So I get there and I get close to this wall, right? It's a wall, it's an old wall, there's like weeds growing out of it. But I get closer and I put my hand on it and I can feel something electric. And right after I feel something electric, I'm overwhelmed with emotion and I start to cry. Now, this is not an uncommon reaction for people who touch the wall, regardless of where they're coming from, what their religion is. And so, while significant, I kind of brushed it off a little bit, as this is just something that happens. This is a historic place. This is a significant place in a people's history. People get overwhelmed when they go to Civil War battlefields or the Lincoln Memorial because of the grandeur. It was not the first time that I touched the wall, and not the second, but the third time that I touched it and was again overwhelmed with emotion and began to cry. And in that moment, I became convinced that I'm not an imposter, that I belong. I belong with the Jewish people belong with me. And from that moment forward, I've never questioned it. You know, I've had other people question my legitimacy as a Jew, my legitimacy as a rabbi leading people, if I wasn't born to it. Since that specific moment, in a country not of my birth, but now where my heart resides, I've had that confidence. I've had that feeling that this belongs to me as much as it belongs to anyone else in the Jewish people. And I'll always be grateful for that. I've never had, you know, I've traveled all over the world. I've seen the Great Wall of China. I've seen the temples in Nepal. I've seen people suffering from leprosy. I've tried all sorts of crazy foods before, you know, kashrut really started to stick. But I've never had a more significant moment than that in my life. So I wanted to, it's very personal, but I wanted to share that with you. So if you go to Jerusalem, go to the wall, touch it, it's overwhelming, and maybe it'll cause some sort of spiritual shift for you like it did for me, and one that I'll always be grateful for. Peace out, everybody. High five, Kotel.